Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Hope you're doing well. So today I thought I would try and do another 3-in-1 type of video. So 3-in-1, actually more than 4, more like 4-in-1. So today I will finally be getting around to testing the Maybelline Superstay foundation. Looks like this. And then I will also be testing, or I say testing out, I have already tried one shade, which is the Maybelline, I can't talk. The Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser Concealer with Goji Berry and Haloxyl. Right, so the shade I've been using is Tan, and as you can see, it's very dirty in the top and it's like halfway gone. And the new shade I have is Caramel, and that's number 10. Tan is number 11, and it's brand new. So I wanted to have basically I wanted to mix Tan and Caramel, see what having a more of a highlighted under eye does. And so I already have an opinion on this concealer, so I have used it before. I also have a few things I wanted to try out from Essence, and Essence is one of those brands that I never really kind of gave the time of day, because one, their complexion products never really go past beige. And yeah, so it's just, I think maybe apart from like the few things I've heard that they might that they have that is good, so apart from their mascaras, and I think I've got their cushion eyeliner, which is really good. It's really black and it dries down really well, doesn't crack. I don't have an issue with that. So their eye products, in terms of like eyeliner, I quite like that. I quite like them. Okay, so what was I saying? So apart from their I do have like 2 of their matte lip cream type of things. So those are the only things I've ever tried from Essence. I haven't tried anything else. So I got these 5 shades of lip glosses. They're so fun. I never really thought I would ever try something like this, but I think I might have seen them on, I think I might have seen them on Tati's YouTube channel, and that's probably where I saw them before I went on the website and then looked for them. And turns out they were there online. So these are what are they called? These are Essence Hollow Wow Dewy Lip Shine. So they're lip glosses. They're kind of holographic or duochrome or something thereabouts, and they're just really interesting looking. And yeah, I have swatched a few of them just to see what they would look like, and I really like the result. And they do look quite scary in the tube, but they're actually quite wearable. Not every single shade is an everyday shade. There are some of these shades can be, you know, workable for every day. Yeah, so I'll be trying these out. And then lastly, I wanted to try one of their other mascaras. I already have their Get Big Lashes mascara. That's a really good mascara. It's my everyday mascara. But I heard this was actually one of their best-selling mascaras, and this is the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. So I got this with their Volume Boost Lash Primer, so I wanted to try this. So you see me use, you might actually, I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this video, but if you happen to see me using these products and I'm not talking about them, it's because I don't want to feature all these products in one video and just make it extra long. Bye. So I don't want to feature all these products in one video and just make it extra long, so I'm going to break it up. So yeah, so I'm going to try the foundation. I'm super curious to see how this wears. A lot of people rave about this foundation, and I just want to see how it works with my skin. The only thing I have seen with a lot of people that have tried it is that it does sink into your smile lines, even though it is full coverage and it lasts quite a long time. And yeah, I'm just hoping this won't do that, or if it does, it won't do it too much. And it's meant to be full coverage. So this foundation comes in 18 shades, and these 2 are the darker shades. And yeah, this is the same Maybelline that brought us the Fit Me, which is, you know, got so many shades, goes from light to dark. And yeah, we've got this now, so hopefully they will have enough common sense to expand the range and yeah, give us a few more options, because this is quite a jump. And the fact that most people will have to mix shades, if you're not this shade and if you're not this shade, it's a bit silly in this day and age. So yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the foundation section of this video. So this foundation, like I said, is a Superstay 24-hour full coverage foundation, obviously meant to last you the whole day. And on the website, Sorry if you hear any noise, it's my daughter in the background trying to sabotage my video.
Hi.
Hi.
See ya.
See you later. So this foundation claims to be transfer resistant up to 24 hours. It moves flexibly with the skin, and the benefits are it looks and feels naturally flawless all day. The Microflex formula provides up to 24 hours wear and is transfer resistant, withstands heat, sweat, transfer and touch, contains no perfume and is tested under dermatological control, suitable for all skin types. So how to use and apply, it says apply smoothly and evenly to your face and blend with your fingertips for flawless, long-lasting 24-hour result. So I haven't used my fingers to blend my foundation in a long time. I did do that for like many years. The only foundation, actually the first few foundations I ever used, starting with the MAC Studio Fix foundation, my first ever proper foundation that actually matched my skin. The lady that actually matched me said, well, she was trying to sell me an expensive MAC brush, and I said no thank you. And she said that I could actually put the foundation on with my fingers, which I had never heard of at the time. So I just assumed if you didn't use a brush, you just use a sponge. But yeah, so ever since then I applied my foundation with my fingers, and it was just magical because you don't need a brush or a sponge to apply your foundation. The only thing is, obviously, you have foundation in your fingers and you need to remember to clean your hands, basically. And I always used to get compliments on my skin and on my foundation as well. So you can use your fingers, and people that use their fingers aren't crazy. Yeah, so that's over. Let's move on to the foundation. So I have this handy dandy tool that I got from Primark, which I use for mixing foundation. This foundation comes with a pump. You get 30 ml. So the cocoa, so this shade is 70 cocoa and this shade is 60 caramel. 70 cocoa, 60 caramel. So yeah, so I got this foundation. One bottle was £6, but normally it sells for $9.99, and I got them while they were on the 2 for $12 promotion. So I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna do two. Should I do 2 pumps? I'm not even sure how much I will need on this. So I'm gonna do 2 pumps of the cocoa and 1 pump of caramel, and I'm gonna take this kabuki brush. Thank you, darling. So I'm going to take this kabuki brush and just use this to dot it all over my face. I've already moisturized and primed my face, and I've already applied my sunscreen. My face is oily in the T-zone and normal around the perimeter, and like I said, I have issues with foundation settling into my smile lines, and I think that's about it. I also have some texture on my cheeks from like old acne scars, but yeah, I'm working on that. So I'm gonna just dot my face first with the foundation. And then I'm gonna brush one side with this brush and then use a sponge on the other side. And this is blending really well. I do trust any Maybelline foundation I use to blend really well. Both foundations that I've used and that I love, the Maybelline Fit Me, both the UK and the American version, have been really good. And the Dream Satin is right up there in my top foundations, especially for drugstore and just top foundation generally. So that was a really good shade match guess. So for me, if you're kind of around my skin tone, I used 2 pumps cocoa, 1 pump caramel, and this looks quite good. My face is darker than my hand and slightly darker than my chest, and my neck is slightly darker than my face and my chest. So my neck hasn't always been this dark. It's just I've had so many I've had 2 allergic reactions, and both have resulted in like a really severe rash that's just darkened my whole neck. And since then I've been working on it. So I'm using kojic acid on my neck, and it's coming along really nicely. So I don't think it's as obvious now, but before, if you look back on some of my videos, especially when I'm like trying to get the camera to just frame above my neck, it's because my neck was particularly dark at the time. So yeah, so I tried to match, so the point of that is just to say that I tried to match my foundation on my face to kind of a shade that's in between my neck and my chest. So it's kind of like an in-between. So I would never match my foundation to my neck because my neck is a little bit darker than my face. But anyway, so this foundation has gone in, so I'm just gonna blend the rest with my Real Technique sponge, and hopefully, oh gosh, this dries really quickly. So as you can see with the sponge, it's a little bit more sheer. So if you can actually achieve a natural-ish type of coverage with the sponge, but you still get a good amount of coverage over scars and blemishes and things like that. So is it me, or has this gone a little bit darker? So I'm going to apply a little bit of caramel. So I'm just using a bit of caramel just to highlight under my eyes, just a little bit. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit of caramel under my eyes on the brush side as well, just so it can look a little bit more highlighted. The good thing, at least, about using 2 shades is that you can do like a highlight and contour type of routine without doing that with concealer. Okay, so this is the brush side and this is the sponge side. You can kind of see a little bit of the scarring, but then this won't be visible by the time I add a bit of powder. Yeah, so I really like the way it blended. I like the coverage. It dries down quite quickly, so you don't have time to talk when you're using this foundation. You need to blend. So and I like the side. I think I prefer the side with the brush, just because you get a little bit more coverage. But I think maybe the side with the sponge looks a little bit more skin-like, and it's basically like it's pushed the foundation into my skin a little bit more, so the finish is a little bit nicer. So now that you've seen what the brush and sponge how they work with this foundation, I'm just going to finish off this side with the sponge as well. So like I said, and I'm just zoom back out, I have used the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer before. I use it quite frequently, maybe like 3 times a week or so, and the shade Tan is a really good shade to highlight with. But I also have Caramel because Tan is kind of a bit too close to my skin tone, if I'm honest. It's a really nice golden shade with a yellow undertone, so I want to try Caramel with that as well. So you just need to keep winding. You need to wind quite a lot, and then you get a bit of product. Oh, oops. Oh well. So I'm going to blend it out with my sponge. and you can see how easily this concealer is blended out. It does have some decent coverage, I'll say like medium coverage, but if you leave it to dry down a bit, you get a bit more coverage. And another thing to know about this concealer is that it does tingle sometimes. So when I first tried this a few months back, I want to say now, it did tingle under my eyes, but now I don't actually feel that anymore. So if you feel a slight tingling, it's meant to have like an active ingredient to kind of help you with your, you know, under eye wrinkles and things like that. So you might feel that slight tingle, and I really like the combination of the two. In fact, I think I can even get away with just using caramel as well, but for more of like an everyday look, definitely I'd mix caramel and tan together. And I'll just show you a close-up of what it looks like on my under eyes. I do have lines on my under eyes, but they're not wrinkles or anything. I've just always had lines on my under eyes. So next I'm gonna finish off the rest of my face, and I'm just gonna quickly do my face because they are just basically my everyday products I have used in other videos, so there's really nothing to see here. And yeah, so I will come back and show you what the finished face looks like. Bye. Hi everyone, so I'm back. So this is my finished face, and I'm also going to be trying out I'm also going to be doing a wear test. I think I forgot to say that at the beginning of this video. So I'm going to be doing a wear test on these two, on the foundation, just to see how it performs throughout the day. I started putting on the foundation quite late in the day, and I think the time was, what time was it? Yeah, so the time was about 3:30 when I finished putting on the foundation, and it's been about an hour and 20 minutes since then. So I'm just going to see how long I can leave it on my face for. So I'll leave it on pretty late at night, so hopefully I'll be able to see, you know, give you a good steer on how it wears. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say, and I like what it looks like on camera. The only thing I will say is, although I haven't actually set this foundation, because actually, why haven't I set this foundation? I don't know. So let me set the foundation. Setting it makes a lot of difference in terms of how it wears and how, you know, the finish, and making it look less cakey. Yeah, so that's what actually reminded me to set it, because what I wanted to say was the foundation looks really nice on camera, but in person it looks like I'm wearing foundation. So this isn't like a natural finish, and it isn't one of those full coverage but natural, as in this is full coverage but then you can see that you're wearing foundation. So I can definitely see this looking cakey very easily if you're not too careful. So yeah, you just need to be a bit more cautious of how much how much you put. You definitely don't need as much as you would in a normal foundation, because this foundation is full coverage like it says. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait for this to dry a bit, and it's drying pretty quickly. So the setting spray that I used was the Revolution Sports Fix Extra Hold Makeup Fixing Spray. So this I find actually helps me a little bit more than the normal setting sprays that I have used before. So this is what my face looks like, and I like the finish. It looks great on camera. It looks a bit better now that I have set it and it's blended into my skin a bit more, so I'm hoping it stays fairly matte. It's quite a matte looking foundation, and it sets pretty quickly as well. It claims to be transfer proof, so I'm just gonna get a little sheet and see whether or not that claim is true, but I have a feeling it will be, because it's a big claim. So there's it's not really transfer proof, is it? Because now my face is dry. Right. Yeah, so there's nothing on the sheet. There's barely anything, like it's not even visible. So it's not like bulletproof type of transfer proof. It's probably transfer resistant is probably what it is, but yeah, so I'm hoping it won't move too much because it did set pretty quickly when I was putting it on. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you. Next time I'll see you will be really late at night, just to show you how this foundation has worn. Until then, I will see you later on. Yeah, I'll see you later on. Have a blessed rest of the day and catch you later. Bye. Hi everyone, so I'm back and the time is now 11:45. I think I said I put this foundation on around 3:30, and yeah, so it's been just over 8 hours, 8 hours and 15 minutes, and this is what my face looks like. I'm just slightly dewy around the corners of my nose and just a little bit on the tip of my nose, but the rest of my skin just looks like kind of like a natural finish, not a matte, but just a natural finish. There's a healthy glow. So if I was to blot, I would just blot the corner of my nose and I would leave the rest. Yeah, so I'm not really too fussed about the slight dewiness to my skin. And yeah, so I really like the way this foundation is holding up. It's not emphasizing my pores too much or anything. It hasn't broken up too much on my cheeks. It is starting to sink into my smile lines, but I actually thought it would be a lot worse than it is right now, judging by what I've seen in videos about this foundation. I'm just looking at myself in the mirror. It looks really good, like it's like settled into my skin properly, which is what I want to see. So I'm really liking the way it looks. Everything else is still on apart from my lips. Highlight is still great. Eyes are still on. I will definitely say though, I'm just gonna blot. So there's a little bit of foundation coming off on the center, on the corners of, there's a little bit of foundation coming off on the corner of my nose, but let me just use another side. Yeah, so there's barely anything on the sides of my cheek. It's just like a slight tint to the tissue. So yeah, it's not like properly transfer proof, like budge proof type of thing, but it's definitely holding up. So if I was to hug somebody while wearing this foundation, I would feel confident that it's not going to come off from their clothes. But yeah, definitely in the T-zone though, the foundation is coming off because it is slightly oilier. And now that I've blotted, the foundation looks fine again. Yeah, so it's definitely a blottable foundation, if you can call it that. I definitely like the fact that I can blot it and it's not breaking out, because some foundations, after a while, once you've blotted it, you basically take off a bit of the foundation. So everything still looks good, especially where I've blotted. Yeah, I really like the way this foundation looks. And yeah, so if you like this video, if you like the foundation, give it a huge thumbs up. That would be really helpful to me. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, so the concealer as well has held up really well. It's starting to settle into my lines a bit. Not sure if you can see because I'm using my front facing camera and that's not as good quality. So I'm using my Samsung camera. I'm just being a bit lazy. I can't be bothered to switch the SD card into my camera, but hope you can see that it's just sinking into my lines a bit, but that's only obvious if I drag my skin down, and then you can see where it's kind of like creased into the lines of my eyes. But in person it's not too obvious. So yeah, this foundation really looks good on camera, especially for the fact that I've had it on for over 8 hours. So yeah, I definitely really like it. I don't love it for some reason. I think maybe because there's a moth flying on my ceiling. I think maybe because it's not like, you can tell that there's foundation on your face. I think that's what my problem is with this foundation. I would definitely wear it again, and it's the kind of foundation I would wear out to an event if you're taking pictures, that kind of thing, because I know it would hold up. Yeah, so I definitely would use this foundation for an event, but I wouldn't use it every day unless maybe if you have like severe scarring or severe pigmentation on your skin or something, severe blemishes, then you know I would use this foundation. But other than that, this is not going to be my everyday foundation, but I do like it. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do, if I was to wear it every day, I definitely wouldn't use as much, and I might even share it down by mixing it with a primer, because I do really appreciate like a natural finish to my foundations nowadays, or like a healthy glow type of look. And I still like a matte foundation, but I think I'm just going towards more the skin like foundations, and this foundation is not a skin like foundation. You can tell you're wearing foundation. So you either need to take your time blending it into your skin, or just use less product or mix it with something if you want it to look really skin like. And yeah, it works really well with the brush and the sponge. I think the sponge side looks a little bit more skin like. It had a nicer, smoother finish than the brush side. So if I was to use it again, I would first go in with the brush and then finish off with the sponge. So I think that's like the best of both worlds. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say, and it's now late. I need to go to bed. I'm really tired. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. I love watching foundation reviews. I have many more foundations. I'm just going to try all the drugstore foundations and then just have like a whole shelf full of foundations I can't use. But yeah, I do love trying out foundations, and this was one that I really wanted to try out. I really do like the concealer as well. Yeah, it's definitely a great concealer for everyday and for events, even if you want. You just need to be careful about how much you use and how much powder you put if you've got like lines in your under eyes, so it doesn't settle in too much. But I like the consistency of the concealer. Yeah, and it definitely wore really well. I'm really happy with it, and the powder definitely helps as well. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me get my views up there. When we ask that you give a video a thumbs up, it actually helps to get the views out, and obviously for small channels like me, I really appreciate every single thumbs up I get. So if you do like it, please do give it a thumbs up. It really helps. Also subscribe as well. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So I don't know if a lot of people know this, but if you for small subscribers like myself, unless you get to 1,000 subscribers, and this is talking about the new rules that YouTube have put out, unless you get to 1,000 subscribers, or unless you get like, I think it's 4,000 hours of watch time, you can't monetize your videos at all. So it definitely would be helpful to get, you know, a little bit of support, you know, financial support from YouTube on the videos that I put out, so obviously I can reinvest it into other videos and, you know, get more products to review and try out. So right now it's a labor of love. It's definitely a labor of love because I don't make anything for my videos, and like every other small YouTuber out there, unless you hit 1,000 subscribers or a certain amount of watch time, you don't make anything. So when we so for myself, if you do like my content, please subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss an upload. And if you do also like you know, whatever you see in my videos, please also give it a thumbs up. It would be really helpful, and I appreciate your support. Thank you very much, and until next time, I will catch you in my next video. Have a good night and stay blessed. Bye.